Matt, just over 12 hours ago, as the day began, as tables were being laid for breakfast, horrific scenes began to play out in the front gardens here. A commotion because a man wielding a sword was running amok. And as you mentioned, a schoolboy, just 14 years old, on his way to school, was fatally stabbed. Police were on the scene within minutes. They pursued the alleged assailant through alleyways and back gardens before tasering him and arresting him on suspicion of murder. As you said, police do not believe the incident is terror-related, but tonight, at least one family and this community is in mourning. A schoolboy being dragged across an East London street. His attacker walking off, sword still in hand.
He just killed that boy. He just killed him right outside my house.
It is the stuff of nightmares. The man hiding in bushes then seemingly attacked people at random. The boy dead, 4 more injured before he was tasered by police. 2 of those hurt officers. Witnesses described seeing the man crash his van through a front garden before going on the rampage. Who, why, and how could this have happened?
He had a sword in his hand and he stepped on the resident's foot, the neighbour's foot, to stop her from moving. And she noticed the sword behind his back, and then she managed to get off of his footing and she moved away, and then she saw a young boy, he's about 16 years old. He was coming out of his house, he was putting his earphones in. As he was putting his earphones in, about 10 metres away from the door, she screamed to warn him that the man has a sword. And he, as he's turned round, he's waved the sword, and it's struck him in the side of the head.
The families, this community, want answers.
The 36-year-old man arrested at the scene is currently in hospital, having suffered injuries when his van collided with a building. He has been arrested on suspicion of murder. At this time, given his injuries, we have been unable to interview him.
Why did this happen, and could it have been prevented? A typical East London suburb that in an instant this morning became an awful murder scene. People who were just trying to get to work, children who were about to go to school, one of whom will now never make it.
Really shocking and really worrying to hear that a man with a machete has been, just a couple of yards away from our house.
It was a Friday this morning because I see this man. I was in my home, but I thought it was a Friday. I see something, but not good. But was quickly, very quick. This man was very, very quickly.
As forensic officers scour the area, the King was today one of many people to offer his thoughts and condolences to this community and to the victims' families.
Well, earlier I spoke to the leader of the local council, Jazz Athwal, and began by asking him how he heard about the attack and what his immediate reaction was.
I got the call around about 8 o'clock, and when somebody rings you that early, especially the chief executive, you know it's something serious. And it was, and sadly, as the day's gone on and the events of this morning have become clearer, we now know that one young lad has sadly lost his life, and there are 4 people in hospital at the moment, and 2 of them heroic police officers and 2 of them members of the public.
The image of this, of the perpetrator, the suspect, carrying what looks like a sword or machete on the streets of London is deeply shocking to so many people. I mean, how can you keep your community, how can anyone keep their community safe from such weapons?
I think we don't know the circumstances behind this, and I know that the police, who acted bravely at the time and responded very, very quickly. Within the response times was great. The ambulance service was here, the fire brigade were here, the police were here, and they apprehended the assailant very, very quickly and certainly saved further lives. And we're very thankful for their swift action.
And yet, if someone wanted to purchase such a brazen weapon online, there's really nothing that anyone can do to stop them from doing so.
No, absolutely, and I think the questions have to be asked. Why there isn't legislation already in place to stop the sale of such weapons, and we've got to really raise that. And I know I'll be raising that with our parliamentarians going forward, because it shouldn't be allowed. How somebody can just literally purchase this either on the street or online should not be allowed. We need to legislate against things like this, and we certainly have to look at this very, very carefully.
And yet inevitably today, especially on social media, is also about rumours and conjecture about what might have motivated the assailant. Is there anything that you know that you can tell us?
No, because I think I've concentrating on the family. We're working with the police, the council, getting all its services together. I think we've got to get that right, because our community needs us now, and we've got to be there for our community. Like I said, there will be another time when we have a reflection on why it happened, but today it's on those that are affected by it most, and I think they need us, and we need a wider community to come together and really show the strength and the unity and the closeness of Hainault. You know, I've lived in this area for around 54 years of my life, and I will continue to live here. And certainly this is not going to put fear into us. What we will do is we will come back stronger as a community.
Jazz Athwal, thank you very much indeed.